Do you want more kids? You want to answer that on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Hey guys, it's Shannon
and Travis,
and today we're going to be doing a Q&A video live from our motorhome. So it is actually really late at night. We finally just got the kids to bed, so now we're able to actually sit down together and film a video like this. So we asked you guys over on Instagram stories if you had any questions for us. This could pertain to RV life, just like personal life stuff, anything really.
exciting.
Yeah, there's some pretty juicy questions in here, so
Woo-wee.
Let's just get into it. Someone said, what's one thing you don't like about RV life? You want to answer it and then I'll give them my answer?
The one thing probably I would say is maybe the space thing, as far as not always having everything. Like right now we're kind of like a lack of clothes per se. Like we have a very small amount of clothes, and so I feel like as soon as I put on a shirt, I'm getting drool on it from baby Storm, and so we don't have as much of our stuff to be able to travel with and carry with. You gotta really consolidate it down, I would say.
Really?
And that's that's kind of everything, like our kitchen stuff, like clothing stuff, just kind of overall, you gotta take a whole household of stuff and shrink it down to I don't know, very minimal.
That's I was gonna say the opposite. I love being minimal. I love having less stuff. That's definitely not one of the downsides for me, but it was kind of close. One of the downsides for me is laundry. So
yeah, well that ties into the limited clothes.
I don't mind the limited clothes and space. I think we have plenty of space in here, and we had for a whole month, we barely had to go grocery shopping. We barely had to do laundry. So I think we're doing good on space. I don't think that's my issue. I think my issue is laundry takes a lot longer the way that we have to do it. Yeah. And also we don't have access to, washer and dryers all the time. So that's another thing. So we have our little washer and dryer. One of the questions in here was, how do you guys do your laundry? And I'll put in a little clip of how we do that later. But that's probably my thing, is we're not able to wash our clothes as often, so we wear things over a few times in the motorhome.
Spit up and it's kind of crusty, this shoulder part is always crusty 24/7.
Dad life.
Yeah, dad life.
The next question is, what do you guys think about the child tax credit? So this is a good question, because I didn't even know about this. I've been getting money from the government and I didn't even know about this. But Travis was telling me yeah, this is how bad I am. I don't even look at our bank account that often. He's we get money for the kids. They put it into our account each month. And I didn't even know that was a thing. And I'm that's kind of cool. I'm do they do that for everybody? And he was yeah. So the child tax credit, if you guys don't know, is a bill that was passed that gives you $3,600 per child if you have from a baby to 5 years old, and then from 6 to 17 you get $3,000 per kid, and it's distributed throughout. You get paid monthly, so it's per year you get $3,000 per kid, if that makes sense. I think this is awesome. That money helps so much with putting your kids in school, or having a nanny or a caretaker, a babysitter, daycare, preschool, whatever it is. I think that's huge, and I think it's really important that that bill continues to be in effect and people vote for that bill, because it's an amazing thing.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is for people.
That's a big help, for sure.
Yeah.
That's definitely helpful.
Caregivers and parents do amazing work, and they deserve that money. So I think that definitely we should all be voting for that bill. That's the child tax credit bill, if you guys didn't know. So the next question is, what do you do to make yourself feel safe, and what precautions do you take? So that's a really great question. With everything that's gone on with the whole Gabby Petito thing, and everyone was saying oh, that's a domestic violence thing. It very well could have been, or is. Anytime you are with anybody else in a small space far away from home, fights can escalate a lot faster than they would if you were with close to family and friends, or not cooped up in a small space. I think it's important, for one, to make sure that whoever you're with You have a good, strong, solid relationship, and that you've lived together before. I would never just like go live together with somebody like, you know, for the first time in a van or
That would
like
be
even
pretty hardcore.
a RV or a car. Yeah, it's probably not the best idea. But, you know, who knows? Everybody's different. The other precaution, I think, for safety, we actually just did a video on this recently on what we do. So we were boondocking. I think if you're boondocking, you have to be extra cautious. Always have protection. We have like multiple different types of protection for us. And then also just being aware of your surroundings, keeping an eye out, you know, at nighttime.
And an ear, like keeping an eye out and kind of an ear out for everything.
Yes. Did I say an eye out? I meant
keep an eye out, yeah.
I was pointing to my ear. I meant to listen.
Well, no, but both. I mean, you know,
both.
Keeping like aware of stuff, and then in advance. I mean, sometimes, you know, and it happens with us all the time. A lot of times we end up pulling into somewhere where it's dark. I mean, not pulling in where it's dark, but pulling in after dark. And I don't particularly like that just because of maneuvering and backing up and hooking up and all this stuff. But especially if you're going somewhere new, like that's not the best idea because you don't know what's around. I mean, you don't really know your surroundings as well. So I think like a big thing is if you can get to your stop for the night or your destination while it's still daylight, you can get an idea of like what's going on, like where things are at, position your motorhome properly, like where if you need to get going quickly, you know, and it's just harder to do that kind of stuff when it's dark. So that's probably, I think, a big recommendation that I think is really good for safety.
I totally agree. We also had a situation recently where we were boondocking. It was so gorgeous, but we had an incident where somebody that was coming around and taking pictures and making us feel uncomfortable, and we didn't feel safe there, and so we ended up leaving. And so if at any time we ever feel uncomfortable or not safe or uneasy about a situation or people or anything, we always just get out of that situation. So
better just to go with your gut instinct, and you know, and nobody likes to have to pick up and move or something like that per se, but it's a very small thing to do for you to feel better or safer for the night or just in general. Something,
And even though you have protection, you don't want to have to use it. So try to get out of that situation if you can. So those are some of the things that we do. And if for some reason we don't have like an RV resort to stay at, that's always our safest, best option. We will stay somewhere where it's very well lit and has cameras. So casinos are a great one. Cabela's is another one. There's lots of places you can look up online. Okay, next question. Are you planning to travel outside of the United States? Hi from Sweden. Oh, that's our home country. Travis and I are both Swedish, in case you didn't know. And we have always wanted to visit there. And so that's definitely on our bucket list.
Yeah, we would love to travel overseas and stuff like that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely planning on it. Why don't you use the dryer instead of hang dry your clothing? Okay, so we have a little washer, and it's a spin dryer, so it's not like a dryer, like a heat dryer. Yeah. So it just basically, you know, like what a salad spinner does when you put the salad in the spinner, it basically gets all the water out. That's what our dryer does. It gets a lot of the water out, but it doesn't dry it like heat would.
Yeah.
So it's basically wrings out the clothes, the wrings out the water in the clothes, and then we hang dry it. So that's how we dry our clothes when we are not somewhere with a laundromat. A lot of the RV resorts have laundry.
Yeah, a lot of like the nicer ones and stuff do have them. And I will say, you know, a lot of people that are like super, you know, I was gonna say super bougie or whatever, but like really nice expensive motorhomes, a lot of them have like a legit washer and dryer built into the motorhome.
We're not that bougie.
No,
we
ours
don't have
doesn't.
that.
Ours doesn't. We swapped the washer and dryer for 2 bunk beds for the kids. Yeah.
So the next question is, what is the average price for a campsite? That's a really good question. So they range significantly. So you can get like a campsite like we're in right now. Our campsite that we're in right now was $22 a night, which is super, super cheap because right now we're in California. Right? California. So I make sure. We've been traveling to so many different states. But this is dry camping. So there's no hookups here. Meaning
So
like,
I was gonna say if you want to explain the hookups kind of thing.
you can explain it.
Okay. So basically, yeah, dry camping is they don't have anything for you to hook up. So you don't have water to hook up, you can't dump your sewer tanks, and you don't have electricity to like plug into or hook up. So a lot of those sites, they may be in a really cool area, like right on a beach, like Thornhill Broom, like where you guys have seen us there before. That's right on the beach, but it's total dry camping. Where we are right now, we're right by a creek, like right by a stream. There's no
So pretty here.
there's no hookups. So some of those are pretty cheap. I mean, 22, and then I think, we've seen like 25 or $30 for something like, no hookups. And then, with hookups, I mean, I think we've spent not often, but probably the most I think we've spent is close to like $100.
Yeah.
But I would say probably
night.
Per night. Yeah, I would say probably the average from all the different places that we've
Like
gone
50,
to about $50.
$50,
Yeah, about $50 a night.
It's like our average
for full hookups. Yeah.
And that just depends what states you're in. So like in California, it's so much more expensive for hookups. But like places we were traveling, like Utah, there was like a really super bougie RV resort, and it was like like $68 or something, or something like that. I don't know.
And I will say, just in case people are wondering, when you do have like the hookups like that, the kind of the nice thing is that you don't pay extra for that stuff. Like they don't monitor how much water or electricity you use. You just plug in and you can fill up like your water tank. You can empty all your tanks. You can use as much electricity as you want, and it's just included in that like flat rate basically.
And a lot of times they'll have like a putting green, they'll have like a
Maybe
playground,
a playground,
yeah,
a horseshoe pit. We saw they make some places really cool.
Yeah,
like
they
really
do.
Neat. Laundromats, like a lot of stuff.
So someone else asked, what suggestions do you have if you don't have an RV to travel in? So you can do van life. That's something very popular right now. And also people are traveling in their cars and sleeping and living in their cars. So I would just say make sure that you are very safe and do your research, especially if you're traveling alone. Okay. Tallulah says, what places are you traveling? We're traveling all over. We don't have like specific places in mind. We have a few places we really want to see. But yeah, we plan to just travel everywhere. Yeah. Do you want more kids? You want to answer that on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Yes. Oh, I'm so glad that we are like on the same page.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not easy for us to do that, but
yeah, the reality is we have like
one more
available, and after that, like, we're not doing like a third round of IVF just from multiple.
At least that's not the plan right now.
Yeah,
things can change. Okay, do you ever get tired of being together 24/7?
On the count of 3.
1, 2, 3. Yes. But we love each other, but like we're with each other 24/7 all the time, but we forgive each other easily and we love each other, so it's fine. Do you poop in the RV? You want to answer that on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Yes.
Never. Oh my God, you do? I don't. I haven't pooped or passed gas in 9 years since we've met.
Yes, we all poop in the RV.
Yeah.
So this is a fun one. Sex with kids in the RV? Question mark, question mark, question mark. So, yes, we can have sex in the RV with the kids. We have 2 doors. So it's like having different rooms. So our bedroom has a door that shuts, and then there's it shuts to the bunk beds, and then there's another door that shuts to this whole living area and like the kitchens. Like they're pocket doors that slide, but they're like thick, good ones. Did visiting Area 51 affect your personal views, beliefs on aliens at all? Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Well, I've always kind of believed in aliens, but after talking to the locals there, they're like, there's some crazy stuff happening there that like, we think is just like for fun, but the locals there like believe that it's actually happening, and you have to believe the locals. So advice on being more minimalist. I struggle with clothes and shoes. Girl, me too. This is my best advice. I feel like Travis would be like coming in here.
I'm good at this one.
No, I feel like Travis would be like, you're so funny. You always make jokes. Like you would want to like jump in on this one. So what I do is if I love going thrift store shopping, and so if I find new stuff at the thrift store that I really love and I want and I know I'm going to use a lot, then I'll take out something I have in my closet and I'll post it up on like Poshmark, or I'll donate certain things so that I can make space for new things. But only have things that you love. And if you love a lot of things, like, just keep them. You don't need to be a minimalist to be a minimalist. The whole point of being minimal is to have things only that like make you super happy, and not make you feel like overwhelmed or stressed because you have too many things, or you have so many things you don't know what you have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the whole point in being minimal.
Simplifying down.
Exactly.
I mean, and I'll just say the Marie Kondo thing, which you watched and everything else, she had kind of gone through saying like hold each item and like if it brings you joy. But I think if you a real easy way, and it's hard, it's totally hard to do either way, but I think if you look in your closet and you just notice that you grab like 3 shirts like over and over and over because they fit the best or they look the best or whatever, and the rest of them you just don't go for because you know like those other ones fit better or whatever, it's kind of maybe time to just be like, all right, you know, I haven't worn this thing in 8 months. Like,
oh, you mean like your island outfit that I try to get you to get rid of all the time that you haven't worn
but
in
see,
years?
that brings me joy. I look at that in there and it makes me happy and it brings me joy.
You haven't worn it in so many years. It's outfit that's like not cute, and I try to keep getting you to get rid of it.
It's like such a cool island outfit, and it's for when we go on a cruise or to an island.
Oh my god!
And it's like ready to
Which
go.
Which is very rare. Okay.
But I see it. It makes me happy.
If it makes you happy, that's all that matters.
It brings me joy.
Are you okay? So this is a question I get all the time, and I wonder if it's from trolls or people that are like genuinely curious, because I've answered this so many times.
I think I'll be able to answer that one if you don't know if it's real or not.
Okay. Are you going to be open and honest about your past with your children?
Yeah, I think that's a regular question.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's an easy one. That's like not a weird, difficult question.
Because I've answered it so many times. Like, of course I do. Like, I always want to be honest with my kids, except for when it comes to like Santa Claus and like the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy.
No, our kids are going to be very
knowledgeable.
Very knowledgeable in a lot of things. I'll just say that. I don't want to get.
Shit, he needs to. You better follow him on Instagram, because he's about to.
I'm about to unload
on, and he's had enough, and he's about to unload on Instagram. So if you haven't followed him, go follow him on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to move on to the next thing because there's a lot of questions. Okay. How can you get away with wearing those on your head? LOL, I look like such a fool. I'm pretty sure she's talking about these headbands. Let me just tell you guys, I look silly in them too, I feel like, but they are so amazing because, one, I have a big forehead, so like it helps to hide like my forehead a little bit, and then two, like if your hair is dirty or greasy, or you have gray hairs or you're having a bad hair day, it covers it up. It's just you have to put them, covers the roots, but you have to like wear it properly. So like, for instance, these are the cool ones. They're like the long ones like this. I really want to put these on my store, a little happy place. So I'm trying to find the right places. So if you have your hair up, you just want to like, you know, make sure you do it like where it's like kind of covering your ears a little bit of your forehead. You know, you have to like play with it and move it around a little bit. If you're wearing your hair down, you want to go over, not up. You know what I mean? I can do a whole tutorial if you guys want me to on headbands. I'm like the head accessory queen over here.
By the way, that's our couch.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Making that noise. Just.
Emergency kit essentials when traveling. I wish I could get them out for you. Basically, we have the choking thing for kids and for us, but mainly for our kids because I'm paranoid and I never want anything bad to happen to them. And then we also have first aid kits. Like the regular first aid kit, and then my own first aid kit that I made also.
I wonder, what was the question? Like an emergency?
What are the emergency essentials or emergency kit essentials while traveling? Are you talking about just like if we have an emergency or like motorhome emergency? Like,
yeah, so depending on, from a medical standpoint, yeah, we have a first aid kit. Mm-hmm. And then we have the like a choker kind of thing. But then we have like extra blankets, you know, and then we have a backup heater. So, like a secondary backup heater, and then from like an RV standpoint, like I bring a bunch of tools and zip ties, duct tape.
We're prepared. We're like the preppers of like RV RV living.
You could always like not have something that you need, but for the most part, you try to cover your bases from like a vehicle standpoint and a medical standpoint. And then a comfort safety thing. Like I said, you have extra blankets and we have a secondary backup heater. So like,
yeah, we make sure we have everything because we have kids. We have like a toddler and a baby, so we have to be like, you know, on our game. Okay, this next one's good. Have you received the COVID vaccine? And then she asked it again. Are you guys vaccinated for COVID? That's the answer to that question.
like, I don't know. How well do you know me?
What was that?
As a dick fur.
Only Travis can make a joke while someone's like outside of our motorhome.
Creeping. There's a lot of people around here.
Not that close to where it's literally our thing is moving.
What's moving? Yeah,
someone tried to open our window.
Okay.
Go look out there and see if someone's out there. Turn the lights off so that you could see outside.
Honey, then nobody's gonna be able to see anything. I could just turn the pimp lights on outside.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just an El Ratona.
You don't see anyone?
No, honey, if anything, it would be a little squirrel or something like that.
A squirrel trying to open our window? Sure.
Yeah.
I love it. Travis is so sweet. He tries to like not scare me. So he like tells me it's something that's like not scary. Okay, moving on. Can you show us the makeup you brought on your trip?
Girl.
I literally bought a little thing and I clearly I think I've put makeup on 2 times and it was like for filming. And I don't know, something about being in the RV and camping. It's like, I don't know, I feel weird like having makeup on. I feel like I should be like barefaced.
There's a difference between camping and glamping.
Glamping, I know. Okay.
You're gonna be a glamorous camper.
So many people want to know if we're having sex in the motorhome.
I'd like to know too.
Have you guys done the deed in the trailer yet? Haha. We straight trailer trash, baby. Yes, we have. How does a baby sleep naps with snow in so little space? So that's a really good question, actually. Like I said, we have those 2 doors, and the kids actually sleep really well. Like their car seats when we're traveling are right next to each other, and like Snow will be screaming, and somehow Storm will stay asleep, and then vice versa.
They've like gotten used to each other, like screaming and whining. Like one of them is upset, and
and if they're tired enough, like they'll sleep through it. And then there's times when they don't, and you know, like in the middle of the night or something, one will wake up the other one, and then but we have a pack and play for Storm. That's a great solution if you're on an RV, if you have space for a pack and play for the baby to sleep. And then if not, we had that little like side rail that you put on beds, you know, when Snow was a baby in our last motorhome. That's big. And they have bunk beds, so like when they get a little bit older, like, you know, they'll be able to sleep in bunk beds.
Well, Snow's in the bunk bed, but
right, yeah, Snow's in the bunk bed, and then Storm is either in the pack and play or in the bed with us because we co-sleep.
Yeah, she's on like the lower one because the other one's up like a decent amount, but by the time Storm is able to sleep in the lower one, we'll feel comfortable with Snow climbing up to be on the second one with like a little guardrail.
How do you wash your clothes? Either a laundromat or like I told you guys before, that little washer that we have, I do it in the shower is where I do it. This is Jess. She says, how's pooping? RV life, is it easy traveling so long? Oh my gosh, I love it. I like don't want to go home. We had a tragedy in the family, so we're having to go home.
Yeah. The pooping thing is easy. I mean, the bathroom is, for one, it's really nice, and for 2, it has a fan, and for 3, like the dumping of like the sewage stuff, like if you're like new to all that, it's like weird and gross and worrisome, nervous and all that stuff, but like once you do it, it's like totally clean and it's not messy and, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Is this still recording? What do you feel is the most essential item you use with the kids besides carriers and strollers?
Baby bottle.
Car seat, toys, snacks for them.
I mean, teethers for Storm. Yeah. And I mean, you have to have the car seat stuff.
I feel like Tylenol because we have a teether. And then that's important.
Well, he's teething right now. We don't.
And then also we have like a holistic oil that we use on his teeth, like for teething, called like pumpkin butt or something like that.
Yeah.
So all that stuff's really important. Is it really expensive to RV travel? So it depends. It depends if you're driving a lot. If you're driving a lot, then the gas can be very expensive. But if you're going to like stay somewhere for like a week or two at a time, and not drive that much, and you stay at like a campsite that's not that expensive, or you're boondocking, then it could be cheap. So it really just depends on how you want to travel and how much you want to drive during that month, you know.
I told Shannon, so going off of our $50, like 50.
All right, sorry guys that shut off on us. Okay, so we have so many questions. We might need to do a part 2 of this. If you guys want to see a part 2, let us know if you're into that, and then we'll do a part 2 to answer the rest of the questions.
Well, $50 a day times 30 days, that's $1,500. So if you stayed at a RV resort for a month and it was $50 a month, but they'd give you a better rate, that's kind of like, that gives you an idea, but it's not driving or anything like that.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it can be, well, depending on where you live. Like we live in California, it's expensive, like very expensive there. So like, for instance, I'll just tell you, our mortgage right now is like, we pay around like $4,000 for like a gardener, a pool guy, our mortgage, you know, like that doesn't include utilities. So it's very expensive for us. Maybe somewhere where you live, maybe in the, you know, Midwest or something, it might be $1,500 for rent, you know, so then it would be expensive to you. So it's just, it just really
depends on what you're driving too. Like this thing literally probably gets like 9 miles to the gallon, 8 miles to the gallon. This thing is huge. It's 22,000 pounds. That's 36 feet. So if you were in like a van that got 25 miles to the gallon, you're zipping around all over the place for pretty cheap. But in a big RV, big heavy RV, it's a lot of money, a lot of gas.
So the next question is, can you go to the toilet when driving, and can you be in bed when driving? So yes, I go to the bathroom all the time when we're driving. Technically, I could go lay down and take a nap in the back if I wanted to, or I could lay down on the couch, which sometimes I do for my back. In fact, I'm on a heating pad right now for my back. And so yes, technically, yes, you can. Have you met any interesting people so far on your trip? Yes. Actually, when we were in Twin Falls, the person we parked next to was also a vlogger. But not your typical vlogger. This guy was like, literally had a beard down to like here, and was so cool. I think he was traveling by himself, and he had like this full like setup with like a mic and everything.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh, are you a vlogger? Because I wanted to follow him, because I was like, oh, he's like in an RV like us, like I want to follow whatever he's doing. And he was like, yeah. So now we follow him, and his name was Gerald R. Miller.
Gerald Miller?
Gerald Miller, something like that.
Gerald Miller, I think.
Yeah, and so now we follow him on YouTube. He was super nice. Yeah. Any plans for Halloween? So we plan on going to Halloween Horror Nights, and also this year is like the first year that Snow is very excited for Halloween. Like she's old enough to know.
She's so excited.
Halloween's like her favorite right now. She just loves anything Halloween related. So we're really excited to do Halloween with her this year. Like trick or treat is gonna be fun for us to like see it through her eyes for the first time, you know? I love our kids so much.
Yeah, me too.
I'm just going to answer one more because I feel like this video is getting really long. Someone said, what was it like starting your own business? All the legal matters to jump through. I want to start my own. That's awesome. My best advice is just do it. It's not going to be perfect. Like when you first start, you're going to have hiccups. There's going to be problems that you're going to run into, but that's like how you start. Everybody has to start somewhere. And so for me, starting, it had been something I had wanted to do for a long time, but never, like, I don't know, got the, what is it, like, something in me to, like, actually do it, you know? I'd been planning it and talking about it, but I never just did it. And then something happened that sparked me to want to do it. And now I have a little happyplace.com. If you guys don't know, it's my little shop, and I'm so proud of it. I love it. You guys are all loving all the new stuff, and we upload. We have new stuff all the time, so always keep checking back. But my best advice would be just do a lot of research, and just know you can't do everything on your own. You're gonna need help, so reach out to people for that help, and yeah, go do it. Don't let anybody stop you or You know, don't let anything stop you from doing something that you really want to do. Oh, there's so many that it's like, it's hard for me to like not answer everybody because I feel bad when I don't answer everyone. But like I said, let me know down in the comments if you want to do a part 2, because I have all the screenshots saved. I can do another one. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did and you want to see more Q&As, let us know down below. Also, thumbs up the video. That kind of gives us an idea that you like the video and you want to see more like this. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Thanks, honey, for being in the video with me.
Of course.
And yeah, we are sending you all of our love and all of our positive energy. We hope to see you in our next video. Mwah.
And you know we'll be here.
Will you?